What is going on here, guys? We are back here today. We're going to be finally taking a look at the Blitz rework on the rewards, on the ranking, and hopefully today I can show you up some of my new Blitz teams I've been running as well here. We've gotten a ton of new characters, Zemo, we've gotten the new Squirrel girl as well, and just long and overdue, and I haven't really posted. I've been getting a lot of messages on Discord asking about my Blitz lineup and like basically the setup I run. So I'll show you guys my teams and all that stuff. But anyhow, last week was the first week we've gotten our first taste of how these new ranking rewards are. And for the Son of Evil, you guys saw there on the screen. I didn't do two shabs myself. I think predictions had pushed it somewhere in the 29-30 mark, and I just went a little bit above just for cushion. And obviously everybody's trying to get the 100 shards there. The rewards have been actually pretty awesome. I found that we don't have to blitz as hard now, and we are not trying to push for the top 15, and the rewards are pretty good because you also get a 4-star unlock on Zemo. So that's pretty, in my opinion, that's pretty awesome. Anyhow, we're gonna jump right in here, and we're gonna take a look here at my Blitz lineup that I'm currently running, and then you guys can have a general idea of the teams. Straight at the top there, I've got my auto blitzing win teams. Phoenix, you've got the 2.0 there with Cyclops. You got the Black Order. Then you've also got Asgardians. Also pretty confident in letting those run auto, just because they're pretty decked out. Hela's at tier 15 or tier 14 as well. Brotherhood 2.0, pretty straightforward. We've got Emma Frost now. I'll show you guys some gameplay with that one. That's been an absolute favorite of mine to use. We got Black Bolt. Then we've got the Guardians. I prefer Mantis over Gamora. Seems like they give a little bit more survivability to that team. We've got the new Avengers. I've actually got Agent Coulson in the new Avengers lineup, and it actually works out pretty good with the burst damage and the removing buffs. We got Shield lineup running there with Trooper. Spider-Verse is kind of weird right now. I had to take Miles out, so I've been messing around with that. I'll show you guys that in a little bit. Defenders, pretty straightforward. We got Fantastic Four, and then as you guys will see there, Young Avengers. Still got to work on Squirrel Girl. We got the new Power Armor team with the new add-ons there. Then we've got Zemo. I've actually been loving that team. That's a really wicked team on Blitz. I think you guys will see that firsthand how good they are. Then we got Taskmaster. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Then we got the X-Force, and then obviously we got Doc Ock coming as well here, so that's gonna be another nice addition to the Spider-Verse team. Got Wakandans, and then this is kind of the team I've been kind of having some issues with trying to juggling back and forth, and it's trying to figure out what Krees should go there, and Vision seems to work well with the techs, so I've kind of slotted them in there, and then got Captain Marvel and the other ones, and last but not least, we got some aim, and then we got Ultron picking up the slack from the hand teams, and then I'll just show you guys a cool little trick with Ultron with your stragglers as well. Doesn't really seems like he can pick up all the the leftovers, if you will, and for the small cost of 5 recharge, he can pretty much give you a pretty solid team. So anyhow, we're gonna scroll through here, and I'll just show you guys. I won't show you guys all the fights, otherwise this is gonna be a 50-minute video. But first things first, we got to make sure we got 63,000 points on tier 8.1. So we're just going to quickly jump in here with an X-Men team. And the nice thing I really like about this new rework is if you've been playing at tier 8 or tier 7, which is 3.9 or 4.0 times, the points, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. Back then, I think before the rework, it was like a 20-30k difference, but now it's like I've noticed it to be 5 to 8k, not even, depending on the teams you run. But basically the TLDR is run whatever you're comfortable with. So if you're more comfortable with 3.9, stick with that, but I still run at the 8.3 tier or the 4.0 multiplier. That's just for maximum points, and then that way I don't have to blitz as much too. Other changes they've done is they've also removed they've limited the amount of times you can do the free attacks, which is, I think in the past it was 12, and now they've reduced that to 8 to give people a little bit more flexibility in their day. I still find 8 to be pretty a lot. So I mean, I don't think I usually hit that amount, but But yeah, let's start off here. Now that we got the 8.3 multiplier, let's start off with the Emma Frost team I've been running. And this is a pretty solid team because, yeah, you've got Mr. Sinister and Strife keeping pretty tanky, keeping everybody alive. And then you got Emma Frost now, who's been a much needed fifth member for the Marauders. I mean, she adds blind, she adds a lot of heals, and then she also adds, buff removal, and on top of that, a massive AOE slow to everybody. So pretty wicked. So we're gonna just go for Rocket here. We can get rid of him. It's gonna be pretty easy peasy. Strife's gonna take that damage for us because that's his job. See, there's that AOE slow, and Strife goes down. That's fine. We're gonna end up cloning Groot, it looks like here, just because he's taunted. So that's fine. I'm okay with cloning him just because he'll give us some extra buffs as well here. So we'll do the defense up, extra buffs. We got Drax there, which is fine as well. We're going to hit with Mystique so we can get some buffs off, so then Mr. Sinister can get some of that good stuff. And we got Emma Frost there to take the buffs off. So again, very nice because in the past it was just Strife that was removing the taunts, but now we've also got Emma Frost as the buff removal. So these guys can cakewalk the Guardians teams. I think they're really good with the defenders. They're pretty good with a lot of different teams too right now, and obviously everyone's been facing them in war. I'd say they're pretty much the top defense team. They're up there. If you got a really strong Mr. Sinister and a really strong Strife, it's a pretty beefy team. They're up there with the Black Orders. So that's my personal opinion. But yeah, no, they've been doing quite well, and we're just gonna hit auto here because well, this pretty much done here. I don't think we have to do any more. But yeah, as you guys can see here, pretty straightforward. Strife did go down. I do got to buff him up a bit. I've noticed that he is definitely one of my weaker links in the Marauders team, but there you guys have it there. And next one I've been working on, and it's been a pretty fun team as well, is this new Avengers team. I mean, it's got a lot of utility. They got stuns, they got buff removal, double taunts. I've been seeing some variants from other content creators as well. They've been trying to switch it up and use instead of Hulk, just keep Captain America in there, and maybe throw in some other of the stragglers that people don't really use, like Shield Trooper. I've seen Shield Medic in there, and and other ones. But I feel like if you want a team that's pretty solid on getting, like, I think with this team, I can usually pretty much get a win at 8.3. So it's a pretty reliable team. Back then, I mean, it was okay. I would win, maybe 7 out of the 10 fights, but now I'd say with the new updates and everything, it's pretty much 10 for 10. So that's been pretty awesome. And like I said, it's just nice. They feed off each other. Hulk pretty much gets the speed meter if other Avengers get hit, and then basically everybody just, there's just so much buff removal, and there's debuffs going on. You've got blinds from Hawkeye. It's just a ridiculous team. Like, it's a fun team to play again, and I'm glad these guys got buffed. There was a much needed buff for sure, and I for one am pretty excited for that they did that. So, and then we could pretty much just hit auto here if we want to, but you guys get the point here. I mean, it's just a very fun team to play now. It's a very fresh. It almost feels like you're playing a completely different team now with the little changes they added to the Avengers. So pretty awesome there. We're gonna go off here. New Spider-Verse team, like I said, it's a little bit weird with we had to take Miles out, so obviously I had to compensate for that, and we'll see what happens. He's he's more there as a placekeeper. He's got the Spider-Verse tag, but other than that, I mean, he doesn't really do much other than that. That's this whole team. I mean, you can literally slot in 2 stragglers, and the main backbone of this team is obviously the symbiote. So you can probably put in Shield Trooper, or you can put in, like, any of the stragglers, Night Nurse, and they'll probably still do okay, just because they're going off of the backbone of the symbiotes. New Squirrel Girl team. I had Captain Marvel in here before, and I finally leveled her up, and I was able to slot in Squirrel Girl. What we're doing here is I didn't like the lineup, so we're gonna just quickly. This is a cool little trick too for you guys to use if you're finding these matchups to be a little bit unbearable. Either just lose on purpose, which I do too sometimes if I'm just not feeling it, and sometimes resetting that multiplier back to the 4 or the 8.0 mark. really helps. But in this case, I'm gonna try my luck here, and we're just gonna reset and see how we do here. Go back to the Brawlers, and yeah, it helps change the lineups. And yeah, I think like the 99ers team better. So yeah, that's a pretty good lineup, I think, for especially for this one. This one I'm still working out some kinks. They don't win as much as they should be winning, but still a very durable team. I did have Psylocke on this team as well instead of Gamora, but she was like 70k, and Gamora is closer to everybody else's power level. So trying to make sure your teams aren't in balance too, because obviously if you have them too, you know, apart in terms of power level, it just creates problems. And just like my Spider-Verse team, I wasn't really too sure what to do with Swarm, but I had to slot him in there. He's got that Spider-Verse tag. I'll probably level him up a bit and see how it goes. But anyhow, yeah, this is a pretty fun team as well here, just because you get a ton of heals from Squirrel Girl. You got lots of energy from Miss Marvel. And it's nice. It's nice because then you can take Captain Marvel off this team, and you can actually use her on the Kree teams, and it just gives you another pretty powerful team to play around with. Or for people that do have the Brawlers teams and they don't have Captain Marvel unlocked, it just gives you another layer that you can add to your Blitz teams. Unfortunately, they haven't really added Squirrel Girl to the game yet, so obviously if you don't have her, and if you weren't playing during her event, then you won't have access to her, and that's fine. You can just have the other Brawlers that are, there's some really good Brawlers like Psylocke, and who else was a good one? Yeah, I guess you could have Miles back on there too, right? Miles is good as well for the speed bar. So this is the team I want to show you guys. This is actually one of my faves. I love this team right now, especially not just because we just had the recent Blitz, but it's just such a well-rounded team now. And I had my Crossbones at tier 12. And Winter Soldier was like tier 11 or something, because back in the day, they were pretty good. They were pretty good characters, and that's kind of who I leveled up. And I mean, the Baron here, he's an absolute beast. Like he's even good on the Red Skull teams because of his second ability, where he can basically just down a minion with the increased damage, and they can't revive. So that's pretty awesome. So we're gonna do Winter Soldier punch, and then booyah, we can go to Crossbones here, where he can just pretty much ult right from the get-go, which is really awesome because he not only gets the death proof and the defense up, but he can also taunt next round, and he's just beefed up, and increased health, all that good stuff. And like I said, it's a nice fresh air, especially for these guys. I mean, I think it was much needed, just like the Avengers. So it was really nice to see them give some love to these guys. And then I have Kingpin there as the fourth. Instead of Grenadier, just because my Grenadier is like really low, or Grenadier, whatever his name is. But yeah, Kingpin actually works out as a pretty good fifth member, just because you are dealing with a lot of villains here. And then Yondu's great because he offers that extra AoE. And if you guys were playing back in the old days, Yondu and Crossbones, they actually formed a pretty good team in the past as well, just because there was just like a burst. I think I had Thanos on that team as well. It was like a Thanos alt, then Crossbones, and then Yondu. And yeah, it was a pretty solid team. So yeah, I love this team. And yeah, we can go in here one more here, and just show you guys again here. Definitely one of my faves right now to be running on Blitzes. It's just such a fun team to play. And wow, if you guys have been doing the VS battles too, verse battles, whatever, you gotta pick Baron Zemo. He's just an absolute monster. He just rips all the buffs, and he just does so much damage at the start. And the ability block too, like turn 1, is pretty awesome. Also very fast, right? He's just a fast character in general. We're gonna block medic here for the heals, and then we're gonna go on Thor. I'm not too worried about medic after the. We'll probably do a decent amount of damage after that. Yeah, and then we got great. We got Yondu here. Wasn't able to strip the taunt. That's fine. It's nice they also buff Hulk's his resistance as well, so that way he doesn't get his taunt ripped off as easy in the past. So that's kind of nice. We're gonna defense up, and yeah, pretty straightforward still. We'll just do Winter Soldier's attack, and then there you go, Zevit. We got a little taunt there, and you got the debuffs. You got the it's just so much. So it's such a great team. I love this team so much. I don't know if I emphasize that enough, but just yeah. And Crossbones, he just becomes a beast of a character now. It's just funny how a couple little things and a couple little tweaks can completely change the outlook of a character. So I'm loving those guys. we're scrolling down here again. Let's see here. We can go with Taskmaster. I'm not sure if... yeah, I don't think I need to go over that team. That team's pretty straightforward. Let's go over the Kree ones. These are the last two I'll go over today before we talk about Ultron. And yeah, like I said, I've been trying to juggle on the teams, and Minerva and Vision seem to go quite well together, so I do recommend that. I know Vision's kind of in a wonky place. People are kind of using him as an Avenger, or they can floating him around with the Minerva Guardians as well, so that works. Whatever you feel like, you know, I was just trying to maximize my Kree minions, and it's been an ongoing process, and obviously you want to make the most out of your you know, your characters. But yeah, I will say the nice thing about this team is with Korath and with Vision, you've got like a double ability block, which is pretty awesome actually. And then you also got a ton of heals from the Kree Oracle and from Minerva as well. And then obviously Cyborg does a decent amount of punch up in terms of damage. He definitely does the most damage on this team, I would say. Vision's nice too, because you know, if he hits tech, he can get some bleeds on as well, so that's pretty nice. But yeah, we'll go for a medic here, just because I don't want him healing, and everybody else is kind of, they're all right. You know, it's not, they're not overly. This is a pretty wonky team to begin with. But yeah, it's you know, it's a work in progress for sure. I still got to level up some of these guys, so at least they're closer. Minerva's tier 14, so she kind of carries the team. Plus, she does have the you know, she does have the heals and the revive, so that also works really nicely as well. So I really love her with that for this team there. And let's just have a look here. Yeah, we'll just quickly take out Wolverine, and you know, that's the other nice thing too. If you're dealing with a team that's got a taunt, Korath is nice because then you can taunt ahead of time, and that's what we did with Wolverine. Got the ability block again there. Yeah, and I usually just leave. I leave Spidey last. Like he's so annoying with his dodges and everything, so I usually try not to kill him right away. That's why I wasn't really going after him. He's squishy, but just I feel like by the time you try to attack him and hit him and everything, he dodges more than he gets hit. So that's why I usually just try to take out everybody else. You're better off doing that. We'll do the revive on Oracle. Like I said, it's really nice because Minerva just forms a really nice insurance policy for this team. In the past, I wasn't really winning too much with these Kree teams. They were more like throwaway teams where I could just throw them out and then use them as a reset team on the tiers, and it was kind of nice to use them like that. So it's been pretty nice being able to at least utilize more of these teams. Most of them are pretty similar to the you know, to the cookie cutter builds out there, but still, you know, you want to make sure there's synergy here. This one's good too because Captain Marvel has really awesome synergy with all the Kree minions, and of course Ronin as well because they're Kree. And then obviously she's pretty much, you know, she's I think she's tier 13, and she pretty much carries this team. Do we want to ult Spider-Man or do we want to ult Iron Fist? Spidey's lower, so we're gonna go for Iron Fist. Should one shot him. And yeah, hopefully, you know, it's always nice to set the tone off once you take one out, like instantly. So that's pretty nice. We will just remove those debuffs. And yeah, we'll go for Miles here before he goes invis. All right. And Luke Cage, fine. We'll just ult that guy, and or sorry, not ult him, special him so we can lose his buffs, and then we can just focus him. And so far so good. So we'll do Ronin's ult there for the block. And I don't know if I should keep going for Luke. I should probably just go for Spider-Man or something and take him out while he's weak, but that's fine. And so far so good. Like you guys can see, like it's a pretty versatile team. Might be a little close actually. Everybody's dying on me. Yeah, that Luke Cage took a lot longer than what I wanted. Oh, yeah, I should have maybe went for Punisher first. He can't dodge this, so that's nice. And yeah, then that's all she wrote, guys. So that's great. So that's Captain Marvel pretty much carrying the Kree team, and you know, it's not an auto blitz for me, but definitely a team that's pretty solid if you can use it timely. And then we've got the last one here, which is Ultron. He pretty much just carries. He just carries the team because obviously I have all these 5 red stars on these hand minions, like six on the Sorceress, 5 on Nobu and Elektra. Like it's just you know, I'm not gonna not use them in Blitz because that's a pretty good amount of points. It helps with the extra points, and I've always kind of used Ultron with the hand team just because it seems like it works quite well with the hand sentry. kind of gives him a little bit of cushion. Nobu gives him, you know, the counter attack, and it just kind of helps out. Gives him a lot of buffs, and then he can just ult. And I mean, once we get the minions going here, I'll speed this up, and then we can basically just ult and auto play this out, because yeah, it's pretty much straightforward. So Minerva's down. Always go for her, and then we can go for the scraps, which is obviously right now. We'll go for Miss Marvel first, just because we don't want her taunting us when we focus on you know, Captain Marvel or something like that. And yeah, like I said, you know, you can just hit auto here, and Ultron pretty much has the game in the bag. Unfortunately, if you don't have Ultron, you know, there are some other alternatives. Usually, when you do it more than 3 times, the 5 refreshes actually get, you know, they get to 10, and then it's 20. So I actually start subbing in other characters like Black Bolt and Phoenix, and they actually work out quite well too. So it just depends on the team you're currently up against. If it's a good lineup and it's like defenders, Black Bolt and Phoenix will usually shred. And then I'll just show you guys an example of this. This is just with stragglers left over, and like I said, anything you got left over, you know, like, you know, Night Nurse or Drax or whoever you're not using, slot them in with Ultron, and if they've got at least 20-30k, that's points, right? That's 20. That's, you know, that's points you can use, and costing only 5 refreshes. I'm not gonna pass up on that. So we got Ultimus, who's kind of weak. We got you know. And you know, Nebula as well, also weak. I haven't really leveled them. And then yeah, just the other odd fellows that I haven't really cared about. But yeah, I will. Yeah, maybe I might work on Ultimus next here and actually add him to the Kree team. Just because, yeah, I feel like I could probably take out Oracle, or I could probably take out you know, one of the other Kree minions, because Ultimus does have some pretty nice buffs, removals, and he does a pretty good ult damage shot there as well, so it's pretty nice. But just I haven't really cared enough, so just pumping out too many characters. Squirrel Girl, and then you've got, you know, you got Zemo, you got Electro coming this week, and yeah, it's just a ton of characters, right? So anyhow, yeah, so if you guys have any you know, stragglers, use Ultron, and you can just pretty much hit auto, and that's kind of what I'm doing here, and pretty much makes it easy. You don't really need to try too hard. Ultron's you know, still, in my opinion, one of the best singular characters in terms of, like, you know, you can just slot him in with any team, and he just does well. You don't need to have too many you know, too many combinations with him or anything like that. But that's what I'll leave you guys here with. Okay, yeah, like I said before, this is the kind of the lineup I've been using, and yeah, it's been doing pretty good so far, and I'll be pushing definitely for sure in the top 100 for Electro as well here. But all right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thank you for watching, and as always, guys, happy gaming.